and welcome to Connect to Success with me, Ashley Owens, your personal networking concierge, where we interview the power connectors of the greater Philadelphia, South Jersey area, and all over the country and world now because we have Zoom. I have the pleasure and the privilege of interviewing Miss Keshia Butler, who is probably one of my new favorite people. I'm so glad that you're here, Miss Keshia. How are you doing today? I know you got off a plane.
I'm wonderful.
Keshia Butler-Thomas. Jesus Christ, I will swap that again. So sorry. How are you?
I'm good. I am wonderful. Thank you so much for having me.
Got you, girl. No problem.
I'm so happy to be here with you today and just have the opportunity to connect with your audience and the viewers of RBN TV and share what it is that I do.
Okay, so tell me, so keep that energy up because that's amazing. So tell people who you are, what you do, and what makes you awesome. Because I know, but I want everybody else to know.
Well, I'm really excited about even having the opportunity to do that. So, again, my name is Keshia Butler-Thomas, better known as Life Coach Keshia Most. I am the owner and CEO of Purposeful Life, solution-focused life coaching, where we specialize in helping every woman, can you tell that I love Whitney Houston, be able to have work-life harmony. At Purposeful Life, we don't believe in balance. We believe that balance is a word that makes no sense for ambitious women in business, right? Because the reality of the situation is sometimes our personal life outweighs our business.
Yes.
And other times it's the opposite. And so we really focus on helping women achieve that harmony through our Stop Surviving, Start Thriving platform.
So talk about
on
that.
On the platform,
yeah.
I'm going into it.
So
on the platform, we have 5 main pillars, right? So first, we have planning and preparing for your breakthrough. So those women who are trying to just get to the next level and feel like they're right there and don't know how to push through, we help them get there.
Nice.
Our second pillar is developing and maintaining healthy relationships. Those are intimate and non-intimate relationships because ultimately, similar to networking, those relationships that we cultivate help us get to the next level.
Yep.
Next up, we have cultivating a growth mindset. If you want to be better and you want to grow, you have to put that in your mind. And so we help women develop a plan to be able to do that. Our fourth pillar is taking action and creating impact. If you're an ambitious woman and you're out here living your life, your best life, as people say today, you need to be creating an impact and really taking action on the things that you believe in, that you value. And so we help you do that. And last but not least, our fifth pillar is building a blueprint for business success. So if you're an entrepreneur, a womanpreneur, and you're out there making it happen, we really want to help you navigate through that process.
Where did you come up with these pillars? These are your particular pillars, right? This is something that you've created, your company's created. How did you, so let's go back. How did you get started? Because this space is so powerful and these pillars resonate with every woman that I've ever met. So how did you come up with those 5 pillars?
So it was actually, it's a really funny start. So 5 years ago, almost to the day, so September 11th, 2015, my father suddenly passed away. And I am an only child of 2 only children. So when my father passed away, it was a catastrophe for me, right? As it is for many people, but I literally lost a third of my family. And so at that time, I was in corporate America, and I was on that hamster wheel, right? I was working from 7 a.m. till 10 o'clock at night most days. On the weekends, I was single because I had no time to date. I was, online dating, but that was just getting crazy.
Dumpster fire. That's a dumpster fire. Yes.
Yeah, it's insane. So all of this was happening. And when my father passed away at 52 years old, it really made me realize that I had to take control of my life. I had to let go of the hamster wheel and figure out how I was going to find some harmony for myself. And so I sought a grief counselor. And about 6 months into grief counseling, my grief counselor literally said to me, Keshia, you don't need me anymore. You're pretty much telling me how to live my life at this point, so you don't need me. And so I was like, well, all right, well, what should I do? And she's like, have you thought about just maybe getting a life coach if you just want somebody to check in with or help hold you accountable to get through a couple more things? So I was like, no, I didn't. Fast forward, I got a life coach. 3 months in, she told me that I didn't need her either. She was like, you don't need me. As much as I enjoy our interaction, you need to be doing this for other women. And so an opportunity presented itself for me to help a small business grow. And in doing so, I recognized that there were a few things happening for that owner. That particular business owner is a woman. And I realized that, number one, she had a breakthrough, but she just couldn't get there. Number two, all of the relationships in her life directly impacted how she was working her business. Next, I realized that she had to see the vision. She needed the growth mindset to figure out that she could get to the next level. Then, of course, she had to take some action to be able to do that.
Wow.
And last but not least, it helped us to build this blueprint. And so I started speaking both nationally and internationally on these 5 pillars. And then I realized that that was how I was going to build the business. And so our brand is based on these 5 things because I realized that those were at the very core of her success.
Right. So let's go into more of that. The core of those of a woman's success is in those 5 pillars, which is absolutely incredible, and it really lays it out in a way that's digestible. Because when people talk about getting a life coach or talking to a business coach, sometimes you don't really mesh in all the therapist, the life coach, and then the business coach is kind of how you've meshed everything into one, which you do not find. Believe me, I've tried to go to. You do not find that. No insurance takes that. So what I love about that is that you're encompassing what every woman truly needs, especially when they're going through, let's say, like imposter syndrome or overworking themselves, because to your point, that balance isn't, when they talk about work-life balance, what does that actually mean? Is it BS? Because probably, especially if you use the word balance, but how do you execute on activities in a very constructive way? And I think with what you guys are doing and what your company's doing is providing the blueprint for that. And when, especially women who don't have that kind of, not even mindset. Mindset's always used so overdone, but more of a path or a trail to follow. And half the time, I don't know if you've seen this, but with Reese Witherspoon had a thing. She talked about one of the awards that she was winning. She goes, "Have you ever heard a woman ever say, what do we do now if there's an issue?" Have you ever seen that bit that she's done?
Yes.
She's like, have you ever heard any woman ask what do you do now to the man if something's blown up? So with what you're doing, I think the foundation of that is so powerful because you're just providing the guidance, the blueprint, and the accountability and the help that women need to do what they are already capable of doing, but don't have the plan for it. I love that so much. So talk more about your services. So when someone calls you, we talked about when the issues that some of the women are not issues, but challenges sometimes women are having when they have their own businesses. But what can someone expect when working with you?
Yeah, so I think you touched on it a little bit. So I strategically launched this company to be able to merge our personal lives and our business lives, because I don't care how phenomenal we are. As women, all of us wear multiple hats. For some of us, that hat is mom, that hat is entrepreneur, that hat is wife, that hat is therapist. We are everything to everyone. And so I felt as though we needed a space where it was safe to have conversations about all of that. Because I remember when I started out in corporate America, which, I drink a lot of water, so I look a lot younger than I actually am. Back when I first started out, it was, we don't want to know about your personal life. We don't want to know what you do on the weekend. I don't care about your children or your husband. I just want to know, are you going to hit these deadlines? Are you going to execute what it is that we need you to execute? And that's it. But as people, we don't work that way. We have real life going on. And so what you're going to get when you have your initial, what we refer to as a breakthrough call with me, is an opportunity to have a safe space to say, this is what's going on. And then from there, we can kind of figure out what program works best for you. And so we strategize our programs in a few different ways. We have a month program, which is a really intensive program because we like I say often, we hit it and we quit, right? So you've got 30 days to get in there, figure it out, come up with a plan, and move forward. I then have a quarterly plan, which a lot of my business clients like, because I'm sure, as you know, a lot of us in business, we measure things by the quarter. And so that's very, very helpful for people. And then last but not least, we have a 6-month program. That 6-month program is for the person who needs a little bit more time because there may be some more layers to the onion, so to speak, with their issues. And so we provide them with more time to be able to get where they need to go. But with any program that we have, our most important tool that you're going to receive from us is the Purpose Planner. I created the Life Coach Keish Purpose Planner, which is a quarterly planner to help ambitious women and womenpreneurs and just women in general keep their lives in order. Of course, I use this every single day, but you'll see, and I'm not sure how well, but every day you have space for your daily affirmation, what your goals are, what your wins are for the day, and also your areas of improvement. Because I think with any of our programs, you have to be able to track your progress. And the best way to be able to do that is in an organized, succinct way. And so that Purpose Planner is our number one tool that you will receive as a part of our services as well to help you get to the next level.
Oh my gosh, that's so, everyone needs a good notebook and to be able to stay accountable with their activities. And I love that you provide those resources. Can you talk a little bit more about, and you don't have to go into specifics, but you work with some very high profile clients. And so can you take me through just the beginning and the end of one of your clients, kind of like a case study, like what they came to the table with and then what they ended up with?
Absolutely. So I have a wide variety of clients. And what I like to say is most of the women who work with me are in some sort of transition. Usually, a typical client is either maybe going out on their own for the first time. Perhaps they're switching careers. Perhaps they have a new baby and they're trying to figure out momming and being an ambitious woman. And honestly, some of my clients are going through a divorce, and that's a huge thing. So all of those transitional periods are usually where my clients lay. So my client who I absolutely love to talk about all the time came to me as she was transitioning from a life on the road to a life of being home. And so she had been married for 6 years at the time when she came to me, and she was used to seeing her husband once a week, maybe twice a week on a good week, because she traveled so much. And so it got to a point in their marriage where her husband was kind of like, hey, I want to kind of start our family. And so she said, all right, well, I guess I need to switch gears and figure out how to be home a little bit more because I need to do that if we're going to start a family. And so she came to me because she was looking to launch her business, but she also needed to figure out how to manage kind of her emotions as it related to giving up her life on the road, coming in and being more of a stay-at-home wife, so to speak,
right,
as her business was just getting off the ground. So she was going to be home for quite some time and whatnot. And so what we were able to do was to develop a plan together for her to carve out time for her rest, her relaxation, and her rejuvenation, as well as carve out sufficient time for her to build her brand. And then last but not least, carve out sufficient time for her husband and her family. And what she recognized as we built this plan was that every day looked a little bit different, right? So it wasn't 4 hours for the family, 4 hours for work, 4 hours. It was an ever moving, ever changing, ever flowing plan that we developed for her. And she has been with me now for quite some time. She's one of those clients who doesn't need me anymore, but we've just developed such a relationship that she continues to be a client of mine. But it's just been so powerful to see her transition into this new role and be able to flourish because she felt like she was in control of it.
Oh, I love that story so much. We do have to take a quick break, but when we come back, I would love to hear your tactical tips and practical takeaways in networking, how you nurture it right now, especially with everything being virtual. And we'll be right back, so stay tuned.
Sounds great.
Why buy local? When you shop with local businesses, you're spending your money on more than just the item you're buying. You're adding a building block to your neighborhood. It starts with a single purchase, maybe a cup of coffee, groceries from a local co-op, or even a shiny new bicycle from one of the nearly 28 million small businesses nationwide. Your money doesn't stay in the till for long though. Local business owners use the money to create a lot of economic activity in your neighborhood, like buying from suppliers, many of whom are also local businesses. Paying taxes to the city, which builds and maintains the infrastructure we all rely on. Employing local workers, contributing to 65% of the net new jobs each year. Add this all together and you've got a recipe for a happier, healthier, more connected neighborhood. Now that's an investment worth making.
Welcome back to Connect to Success with me, Ashley Owens, your personal networking concierge. I am here with Ms. Keshia. We've been having so much fun. She's brilliant at what she does. She definitely takes women to the next level with her 5 tiers, and she's just a therapist, a life coach, and a business coach all wrapped in one, and I'm just so thrilled that you're here today. So Keshia, before the break, we had talked about how you worked with your clients from taking them to point A to point B, C, D, and E, right? So all throughout the, the processes. And I think the way that you manage those expectations with your clients, especially women, is so powerful. What I would love to, and the fact that you've kept the relationship with your clients for so long is incredibly powerful. So can you go into knowing what you know about people and having more of a deeper understanding of human behavior? How have you been able to take those skill sets and really translate it into a powerful network?
So the first most important thing I find in networking in general is being genuine, right? And so a lot of my clients work with me because they connect with me. I tell people all the time, the truth is the truth. There's a ton of life coaches. If you Google life coach or you type in life coach on Instagram, there's thousands of us that pop up. Right? And the only reason that you're going to want to work with me is because you connect with me. And it's going to be the same way when I'm networking. And so it's funny. My husband says all the time, people connect with you because you're a cross between Oprah and Cardi B, which is very true. That's my personality, right? And so if you like either of those people, you'll work wonderfully with me. And so I take that personality into everything that I do. And so anyone who knows me personally or professionally gets the same person. It doesn't change. Yeah. And so I think that when we're networking with people, it's important that we're putting our true, authentic selves on display. Because if we're not, when people start to work with us and get to know us a little bit more intimately, if they see that something's different, it totally ruins the relationship. Right. So in networking and in my business, everything is fully transparent and authentic at all times.
Super consistency is one of the biggest things I think that people start to fear in networking, right? Because they feel like they have to sell themselves at an event or with somebody new for the first time, and then you don't really see who you're actually working with until you get into the nitty-gritty or the second or third, conversation. I think that's such a brilliant point you bring up, and I think that again, people buy from people that they know, they like, they trust. And your personality has consistency. And I'm sure you know this, like when we were both in corporate, like that's a whole different person. It's a whole different person. We're like, oh, pleasure to see you again, regards. We're like, no, I hate you, and you've eaten my lunch 3 times this week. Like there's, you kind of build it up and you try to figure it out. But what a relief it was, at least for me, and I would love to hear your thoughts on this, is when you realized, it took a long time for me to realize that my authentic self had value. And I didn't realize it had value until I had exhausted every other opportunity and it still didn't fit, right? So until I started my own thing, it was like, oh, oh, I don't have to try so hard, or I don't have to feel like I'm pushing so much, or I can triple down on my strengths instead of trying to overcome every weakness to hit those deadlines or those metrics. Like, I mean, I don't know how it was for you, but it was such a turning point and such a relief and a heaviness that was off my chest when you could be authentic. And I think the reason why people are more successful being authentic, and I'm sure you can agree, is because you're not putting up a wall or a facade. Like, you see is what you see is what you get. And it's
exactly.
Yeah.
The one word that I can use to describe that the best is liberating.
Oh, great word. Yeah.
Being in corporate America, it was very lockstep, right? You come in, you look a certain way, you wear certain colors, your hair is a certain way, certain lipsticks, certain length, certain size heel. I mean, it was cookie cutter.
Yeah.
Everybody was the same. And if you had something different, it wasn't viewed as a strength. It was more so a weakness.
Right.
And so what I have found in my business is I have the opportunity now to play in my own sandbox, right? And I can't tell you how many times people are like, Keshia, you've got all these bright colors on LinkedIn and this and that. That's who I am.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's what you're going to get.
Yeah.
I don't want the traditional headshot.
Yep.
None of that is who I am. And I want my clients, both my high ticket clients and my traditional clients, to know exactly who I am. And I don't want it to change. And so I can't agree with you more, Ashley, to where I have seen so much more success in just being me.
Isn't that the
Than
strangest
I
thing?
did in anything else I've done in my life. And I truly believe that my business is where it is because I pour myself into it every single day.
And how
There's
many
no gimmicks.
Yeah.
It's just me.
And how many times do you see that you know someone's either in corporate, especially in a networking event, because they regurgitate or they script their introduction just to say hello? And then you can see the entrepreneurs who are like, this is me today. I'm wearing this today and we're gonna play. We're gonna have a good time. We're gonna have a drink. We're gonna have a non-alcoholic drink. We're gonna go over and eat because why not? We're all poor, so we need to go eat. Whatever. Like the commonality, in that space, I think is so interesting. But you see the lack of heaviness, and I think that translates to a more powerful network because you're not pretending to be something you're not, and your value add is you. It's not the product that you have to sell or the service that you have to sell. It is you, and that becomes less of a burden, I think. Or sometimes, depending on the person, it can become a little bit more fearful because it's very vulnerable. So once that vulnerability starts to creep up, unless you've gotten proverbially punched in the face, sometimes it's harder to come above it. So that's why you hire Keshia to be able to figure it out. There you go. So I would love to know if somebody were to, get involved in working and collaborating with you, who are the top industries that you love collaborating with? And we talked about your clients, but please also go into more of that. So that way people who are watching can make those introductions.
Absolutely. So a vast majority of my clients are entrepreneurs or womenpreneurs, as I like to call them. And these women are in various industries, as well as from a high-profile client. I do work with a lot of reality TV stars.
I love it.
And so I find that I work with them because reality TV is one of those industries where you have to get in and make it work for you. If you don't, then you do need another plan. Right. And so I work a lot in that space in helping the former reality TV star be able to create the plan for what their success is going to look like post TV. Yeah. I joke all the time and say, there's only one Mimi Leaks, right? She took reality TV and went to Broadway and went to Glee and created a clothing brand on QVC. There's one of her, and there's one Bethany Frankel. There's one Skinny Girl. So with that being said, I work with those women and then entrepreneurs, and then I also work with women who are like franchise owners, independent insurance sales. Independent, maybe like Avon or pharmacy,
multi-level marketing,
all those independently owned businesses I work with. And so if you know anyone in those industries, I'm a great match for them. Just because even though they own a piece of a franchise, they have that entrepreneurial mindset that they're looking to expound upon. And so that tends to be really great for me.
Is there any kind of industry that you not necessarily stay away from, but isn't really a good fit for you?
So I do not like the phrase industry agnostic.
Okay.
However, my business truly is, right? Yeah. Because a woman can be in any industry and be in some sort of a transition. And so I do not stay away from any industry. Now, there are industries that lend themselves to me a little bit more than others, like those that I spoke about, but I am not opposed to working with any woman who feels that she connects with me and could benefit from our time together.
Amazing. So if people were to contact you to work with you, what's the best way for people to contact you?
So there's two main ways. So one, you can visit me on the World Wide Web at www.lifecoachkeish.com. Yep. And or you can connect and kind of talk with us and engage with us on Instagram, where we have a huge presence at the handle @lifecoachkeish. So everything's the same. Or if you just want to get me directly, you can shoot me an email at kbt@lifecoachkeish.com. So everything is @lifecoachkeish. So if you're looking for me, that's how you'll find me.
Life Coach Keish, I have one more question for you. Typically, because of somebody of your caliber is a very big giver, this is your opportunity to ask. What are you looking for? What is your ask?
Right now, we're going through this time period where whether you wanted to or not, you had to hit the reset button.
Yeah.
And for a lot of us, we didn't necessarily want to, right? We were living a pretty decent life where we felt comfortable and stable. And right now, things are just not stable for anyone, for most people. And so I'm really looking to have conversations with women who are feeling unstable and want to figure out how to plant their feet again. If that's you, someone you know, if you happen to be at brunch with a friend and they say that, those are the people who I really want to connect with right now, because we are going to come out of this that we're in. When, we don't know, but we do want to be prepared, as we don't want another reset opportunity to come across and we miss it.
Amazing. Thank you, Coach Keish. I am so glad that you were here today. I'm such a fan of yours, and I can't wait to continue to support and follow. I think what you're doing is extraordinary, and you're the only person I know in my network that does what you do with all of those tiers and all of those three parts. So 5 tiers, and then you're a life coach, and a therapy coach, and then a business coach. You're all the coaches, and I love it so much. So thank you again for being here. Thank everybody for watching. Connect to Success with me, Ashley Owens, your personal networking concierge. If you'd like to be a guest on the show, please email ashley@ashleysis.com. Come hang out, talk about your tactical tips and practical takeaways in networking, and we will see you next week. See you later.